Okay. So these we are going to discuss today. I hope whatever assignment I gave you, you have done. If you do, that will be really good for you. Okay. So probably you may know some of those what I what I asked you to do. So if you can revive clearly, that will be helping you much. First thing is web versions or it is web generations. Okay. And second point is here HTML5 and its features. Okay, first let us discuss these 2 points. After that, we go with the HTML boilerplate. Similarly, what is semantic HTML and non-semantic? Okay, so as far as web is concerned, web is part of internet. So when we talk about internet, it's not only web. One of the things in this is what here, web is one of the things in the internet. Similarly, FTP, email, okay. So other things like chart, all these can be part of internet. Okay. So sometimes what happens, it may be through HTTP protocol or it may be straight away point-to-point protocol. With the help of that, we work with the internet. So important thing in the internet is actually web. With the help of web, in the graphical user interface manner, we can see the information. So the information may contain pure text or it may be containing text as well as images. Sometimes even the video, audio you can have in the internet. Okay. So internet is basically network of networks. Web is actually one of the things in the internet. Web is not only internet. Apart from web, you can have many other things in the internet like FTP, email, chat mechanism, video chatting kind of thing. So there are many things you have in the internet, but commonly we use web as well as FTP, and one more thing is email and chat also. Okay. So when we talk about web, web is basically, it is a mechanism. With the help of that, you can see in the browser the information which is hosted by somebody or some organization. Okay. To share some information, they put in a server, hosting server. So from that, we can be seeing that in our browser. To render the content of the, web, we require browser. Through the browser, it can be rendered. Okay. Without browsers also, we can see that. For example, you might have heard about actually web scraping. In the case of web scraping, what we do, we connect to the concerned server. From server, we pull the text, and in whatever manner we want to arrange, we can arrange. But browser is the mechanism, or there is a medium. With the help of that, we can display the content in our local computer. Okay, so web is one of the internet things. So using web, you can be reading content which is available in the internet. Okay, different people post different types of information. So to see that information, we require a browser, and that must be published in the web form. So web form meaning is what here you have HTML pages, JavaScript. Okay, so similarly CSS files. So with that actually you make basically the web application. So that we are going to see within our browser. So this is in raw terms when I say. Okay, so web actually started somewhere around 1995. Okay, somewhere around 1995. So very first version of web has that was introduced. These are basically web 1.0 initial version. It is read-only web. It is something like flyer or pamphlet. Whatever you print on the pamphlet or whatever you print on the flyer, so that you can simply read. It is something similar to that. So we used to have static HTML pages those days. Okay, limited interaction with the server. Okay, very, very limited interaction, that too with the CGI, common gate interface. So with the help of that, we used to have interactive web pages. That was in the version 1.0, web 1.0. The next version is web 2.0. Either I can say version or I can say here the generation. So this is what second generation or second version, web 2.0. So web 2.0 is basically interactive, and this is going to be user centric. Web 1.0 is what here information centric, whereas Web 2.0 is user centric. So whatever type of content user wants to see, user can see that. Okay, user can search, user can filter. So whatever content user requires, that only the user can request. So accordingly, user can see. So this is basically user centric. Web 2.0 is. Web 1.0 was read only, but Web 2.0 is user centric, and most of today's sites are actually Web 2.0 based. Most of the sites are actually they are interactive sites. Okay, most of the web applications they are interactive web applications. That means user whatever would like to see the content, the user can see, user can select data. So that is what basically Web 2.0. Okay, so this is what here, I mean, read write web, you can say read write web, and also it is user centric. So this is user centric, whereas read only web is what? It is information centric. Okay, even in the like 2.0 also you have information. So without information, you cannot make any website. But user has more importance when compared to the information in the Web 2.0. So as per the user choice, we can actually get the data. Okay, next is here Web 3.0. So still we are using Web 2.0. The future generation is going to be Web 3.0. Okay, the future this is going to be Web 3.0, but Web 3.0 is going to be here semantic web. Okay, it is going to be semantic web, where the web technology evolves into a tool that's going to let the users to create, share, and connect via search and analysis. Okay, so sometimes what happens, the web is going to work on behalf of the user. Okay, so automation we are going to have in this case. In the case of Web 3.0, so like a human being only, your agent, you may create some agent, so the agent is going to be working on behalf of you in the Web 3.0. Okay, so that is going to be emerging in the future. Right now, still we use actually Web 2.0. So one more version of Web 3.0 is going to be like blockchain based, more and more secure, decentralized kind of thing you have in the Web 3.0. But still, we are using Web 2.0. So Web 3.0 is going to be future. Then further versions also already they have defined Web 4.0 and Web 5.0. But so far, there is no clarity on that. Even in the web regarding Web 3.0 also, there is no clarity. Okay, still it is actually evolving. So still we are using read write web. It is user centric. Some of the like companies, they move to Web 3.0. So that is blockchain based. They use smart contracts in that. It's blockchain based, more and more secure. But actually you require more and more resources when you go with the blockchain based. And wherever they are required, you can use. Otherwise, for simple kind of information sharing, we don't require Web 3.0. So still we are in the Web 2.0 generation, but in the future, we are going to adopt Web 3.0. So these are the three versions we have so far. Okay, Web 1.0, which is information centric, Web 2.0, user centric, Web 3.0 is emerging. So in the future, you can see many like avatars of that. Okay, but right now we think it as decentralized, semantic, okay, similarly blockchain based as far as Web 3.0 is concerned. So these are the versions so far we had. The very first version got released in 1995. Okay, then somewhere around 2002, 2003, second version has come. Still we are continuing with the second version. But in the future, we have to use Web 3.0. Okay, and all these actually get defined with the help of using the Web W3C consortium. We call it as World Wide Web Consortium. They give guidelines from time to time for making the web applications. They have certain standards, how HTML should be, how CSS should be, how JavaScript should be. So they actually give recommendations based on that. Normally, web applications, they get developed. So this is called as World Wide Web Consortium. It is something like ANSI. So in the case of C language you take, you have ANSI standard. As per standard only, they create the language. They develop the language. Similarly, you take, for example, ISO we call, International like Standards Organization, or ISI, Indian Standards Institute. They, formulate certain rules for creating products. So we call them as standards. So as per those standards, they have to be made. Products have to be made. So the standard is not any product. It is just actually a generalization of something. They are nothing but rules. According to those rules only, if some product is made, on that you can have a ISI brand. So to impose, standards, what they do, they actually formulate certain policies. So as per those policies only, the product should be made. Same way, W3C, you have Worldwide Web Consortium. They I give guidelines for web developers or for companies who make actually web-based frameworks. Okay, so as per them, they have to develop the frameworks. So W3C is Worldwide Web Consortium. According to them, we have 3 generations, Web 1.0, 2.0, as well as 3.0. So these are basically, you can call as web versions or web generations. Okay, next thing is, what is HTML? Okay, basically HTML is nothing but hypertext markup language. HTML is hypertext markup language. So using that, you can create a document. We call it as HTML document. The document is actually read and displayed by web browser. Okay, so HTML document is going to be pure text document. So that may contain HTML elements, that may contain JavaScript, that may contain CSS, okay, that may contain audio as well as video. So all of they are going to be shown in the browser. Whenever it is in the HTML format. So the files have extension .html or they can be .html. Okay, so in that, whatever content you want to show to the user, you are going to put in that. Then the browser is going to be interpreting the HTML. Accordingly, it's going to render in the browser window. Okay, so that is going to be here HTML. So far, we have different generations or different versions for HTML. HTML 1.0, then we had 2.0, then we had 3.0, then we had 4.0. For a longer time, we used 4.0, but now we are using here 5.0. Okay, very first version was 1.0, then 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. So 4.0 version we used for a longer time. Okay, then in recent times, for the last 5 years, we are using HTML 5.0. Okay, so HTML 5.0 is basically, more robust. Okay, and it's something like an application. So it has full-fledged features of the application. In the HTML 5.0, we have semantic elements, then we have inbuilt audio and video support. Earlier in the 4.0, we did not have audio and video support. We have to use plugins for that. Something like Flash Adobe or using like Microsoft Internet. We have some tool with the help of that could be shown rendered video as well as audio. Okay, similarly using JavaFX, they used to render audio as well as video. But these days they are not required. We don't require any plugins. So without plugins, inbuilt support we can have in the HTML 5.0. And apart from that, you can go with the graphics kind of thing in that. You can create games. Okay, you can create appealing like visual elements with the help of the canvas. Similarly, you have a concept called local storage. Okay, local storage means suppose when you are working with a server, sometimes you may get the data which may be some 30 MB, 40 MB data. So time being you require in the browser. So for that purpose, instead of putting in a variable, so what you can do, you can put in a local storage. So up to some 70 MB, 80 MB data, you can maintain in the local storage. So that facility we have in the like web HTML 5.0. And apart from that, you can go with the responsive kind of web pages. So responsive web page is nothing but the page can be rendering on any type of device. We have different types of devices. So that can be a mobile phone, or it can be like a tablet, or it can be a desktop computer in which you have a browser. Okay, or there can be different types of devices. Car dashboard you may have. So in the car dashboard you can render, or you go to you are traveling in a plane. In the plane dashboard also that can be getting rendered. So they are nothing but different types of screens. So in all the screens that must be getting rendered. So in the 5.0 HTML, all these are available for us. And similarly, you have here drag and drop facilities. Suppose you have an image, you can take the image and you can drop into some other section or other div, so which are possible in the HTML 5.0. So these are the features you have in the HTML 5.0. Okay, So earlier in the 4.0, we did not have these facilities, but when you go with the HTML 5.0, you have all these features. As I told just now, you have local storage, you can go with the responsive web pages, you have geolocation API. Geolocation means, for example, I am from Hyderabad, somewhere I am working. Okay, if I allow tracking of my location, so you can see where exactly from which location I am working. You can understand like that. Similarly, you have canvas. On top of canvas, what you can do, you can draw images, you can draw SVG files. Okay, so it has inbuilt audio and video support. Then it supports actually semantic elements. Semantic elements are nothing but meaningful elements. Okay, you have containers like div or table, they don't have any meaning. So simply like containers we are using. So in that container, we keep the content. But when you go with the HTML 5.0, you have appropriate names. Semantics basically meaning is, semantic is nothing but basically meaningful kind of thing is called as semantic. For example, you take a web page, you can use a semantic element like footer, or you can use header. Normally in the HTML4, you don't have such facility. Either you need to go with the div. Okay, the div only, some upper portion you want to treat it as header and lower portion you want to treat it as like footer. Then similarly in between, you can have actually content. So all of they can be the div only, or all of they can be the paragraph. So depending on our choice, we can make them. Okay, so but in the HTML 5.0, you have semantic elements. Like for example, section. Okay, you can divide into various sections. You can call it a section. You can create navigation bar. You can say it as nav bar. Similarly, you can say it as header, then footer. You have meaningful names for sections. Or you can say for content, you can give a name, meaningful name you can give, or you can give a title that you can think as semantic. So it supports semantic elements when compared with the HTML 4.0. Okay, so these are the features you have in the HTML 5.0. Some of the features I said. So as we progress, we can see more and more features. Okay. So next thing, how to create a web page? Just try to see now. I just go to here, G drive. Yeah. So I just try to create a new folder, HTML examples. Okay. Now in this folder, I want to create some HTML file. Then I go to Visual Studio Code. This is one of the popular editors, okay, which supports IntelliSense and code completion features, okay, searching, replacing, all these features, even version control, we can straight away push into like GitHub from the Visual Studio Code. So just launch Visual Studio Code. This is a tool from Microsoft. It is a popular editor. You can use it for developing different types of languages. Like HTML, for HTML you can use, for JavaScript you can use, for CSS you can use. Okay, even for developing Go language you can use. For Java we can use, for Python we can use, for number of languages you can use it. Okay, now let me open the folder. So this is the IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So this is Visual Studio IDE. So from this IDE, I can load this one. So first of all, I open the entire folder. Okay, so entire folder in this. Yes. So here it is, HTML examples. I want to open this folder. So right now we don't have any files in this available. You can even connect to your source control. So you can open repository. To that we can be pushing it. Okay, from the Visual Studio Code. Now here, this is the folder. So in this folder, from here I can create a file. I can create a folder. I can create a file here, new file. When I click on this, it's going to ask. So I want to name this as home.html. Okay. So home.html. So very first thing in this case is going to be doc type declaration. Here at the bottom you have. So this is going to mark this document as HTML 5.0 document. Okay. So this is very, very important. This is called as here document type declaration. So this document is going to be HTML 5.0 document. Followed by you have here a tag element. You can say it as element. So HTML is basically an element. So an element contains here in this case a starting tag and a closing tag. Okay, this is the starting tag and this is the closing tag. And this is what exactly a container element. A container element is going to contain a starting tag and a closing tag. Okay, so first of all is what here document type declaration. When you talk about HTML 5.0, so very first thing must be document type declaration. Okay, then here you have the HTML document. We are going to create here HTML document using the element called HTML. So an element contains both starting and closing tag. So these elements are called as container elements. You can have some elements which are non-container. In that case, they don't have the ending tag. Only starting tag you have in such cases. So you have two types of elements. One is what container, other one is non-container. Okay, a container element begins with a starting tag and ends with a closing tag. So this is called as here element. Apart from the tags, here you can have the attributes. Attribute is nothing but it is going to give a state. Okay, it's going to give a state. So with the div, we are going to see it. Now, this is what exactly it is going to be a HTML document. Further, you can divide HTML document into two parts. So one is what head. The next thing is going to be here body. Okay, so one is head. Second thing is here body. In the head, you can contain various elements like title. You can give a name for the document. So I say this first HTML example. I want to write like this. The next thing here it can be, you can go with meta tags, or you can go with script elements. You can go with the style elements. You can define scripts here, or you can reference from external script file or CSS file. Okay, so they are going to come in the header part. They are going to be coming in the header part. So header part, in this you are going to refer the resources you are going to use in the body. Okay, you can here first of all import the resources. It's something like import or referring resources. So those resources you can use in the body part. So when it comes to body part, here you can have the actual content. Okay, so this is what exactly, this is the document starting, and inside this you have a header part as well as a body part. Whatever content you want to show, you need to put in the body part. Okay, for body now, I want to give some kind of attribute. So attribute is going to be, I want to give some color for the body. But before that, let us see what happens exactly in this case. I go here with the H1. Okay, H1 is one of the header elements. You have header elements. Every element is actually starting here with a starting tag and closing tag. So this applies for all the container elements. If it's a container element which can contain other text in that or other elements in that, such can be called as container elements. So this is going to contain some text in this case. Okay, so here what I do, welcome to home page. Something like this I type. Okay, then I have to save this. I have saved this now. I want to render. So in such case, I go to HTML examples. Then here you can find. When you open, it is showing the text file. Okay, it is showing text with bigger font. This is called as heading 1 because I have used here H1 tag. You can have H1, H2, H3, H4. So 6 different headings you have in this. They have default style. Okay, I want to make this as H2 here. Then similarly, I go with the H3, how they look, see. Okay, sorry, this is H2. I should end with the same tag. Then followed by, it is heading 3. You can have up to here 6 different headings. Okay, 6 different headings you can have. I come to this now. When I render again, it's going to show in with the different font sizes. This is H1, this is H2, and this is what here, H3. So these elements we have H1 element, H2 element, H3 element. Wherever you want to have headings, you can use this. Okay, now we talk about now attributes. You have a body. Right now, if you look at body, this is having white color background. This I want to change. I would like to change that particular color. So for that purpose, I can use a attribute called here style attribute. I can go with the style attribute. Then here I can change. So what I should change here? Background color. Okay, background color. I want to give the size here brown color. Now when you see how it looks, you're getting with the red color background. So this is called as here attribute. First of all, you have a tag. This is starting tag. This is closing tag. Okay. Similarly, another tag we have body. Here you are going to show the actual content which you are going to see in the web page. Okay. So for this body, I'm giving a style. Style background color, what brown. So entire page is coming in the red color for us. But now here you want to change a different color for the H1. You don't want to use one more thing. You don't want to use the existing font size. I want to go with a different size here. So what I can do, I can change the font in this case. Style equal to, again, I put font size. Okay. I can go here with the font size. Then I want to give the size like say 40 px. 40 pixel size I want to give here. When I go with the 40 pixels, how it looks, let us see here. It is looking much bigger when compared with the simple H1. So when I change this, I change it to 40px. So what is happening with bigger font size, it's coming up. So this is what here attribute, with help of that, you can change the element totally. Okay, so you are changing the size of the font. In that case, you are changing the state of the element with the help of the attribute. Style is one such attribute. Okay, style is nothing but here one such attribute. Apart from that, you can have actually even other things. Like I want to go here with the width. Okay, I would like to go here width. So in the case of the width, I want to give something like say 50%. Okay, some 40% I take. How this works, let us see here in this. 40% I'm using. The next thing is going to be here, other thing like align. So text align. Okay, one of things is here text align. Then here, in this case, I want to go with the left. Okay, left alignment I'm trying to use in this case. So when I go here, it is not changing. So this attribute is not working properly here in this case. So this is not applicable. It is not straight away working. That means with the H1 element, you don't have the width attribute. But if I go here, if I try to specify width followed by, I want to go with the like 50% of the available screen. Of the 50%, it is going to use. And if you go here, align center, it should come in the center of the screen for us. Okay, it is changing, but not exactly going into center in this case. If you see here, somewhere here only, first of all, it's going to use 50% of the available width. Okay, and in the 50%, again, you are centering it. If you don't use here, this width equal to 50%, in such case, exactly in the middle of the screen, you can get it. If you see here, now it is not in the middle, but when you refresh, it is going to come into the center. So like this, you can use the attributes. Okay, with the help of these attributes, you can properly give a layout for the elements. You can properly give certain colors. Okay, so proper fonts you can choose. You can style basically using the style attribute. Apart from style attribute, you can have many other things as well. Okay, but one of the important attribute is here style. So for the body also we gave a style, and even for this also we gave a style here, H1. So font size 40px, text align center. When you don't specify anything like that, it is going to use the default styling. Okay, so default font size it takes, default alignment it's going to be taking. So yesterday in the document I shared one, one important point that was called as cross-browser compatibility. Have you gone through any one of you have you gone through that, the document? I shared yesterday one document, Word document. So in that I was talking about actually cross-browser compatibility. Okay, so if you've gone through, you could have understood that. So here, whenever you go with the browser, what happens if you don't specify any style? Automatically, it's going to use its own style depending on the browser. One browser has definition for H1, one definition, and when you go with the other browser, it has a different definition. So to make it cross, compatible, you need to define style, and for every element, you need to apply there. So in your document, you need to define style. So that style must be applying. So in that case, what it becomes, your content is going to be shown in different browsers in the same way. Otherwise, in one browser, it renders in one way, in the other browser, it's going to be rendering in the other way. So that we have to avoid always. So if I don't use here, it's going to use default style for this. It's going to be using default style. Let us try to see this in the edge, how it looks. Okay, I come to this, then I try to open with the edge in this case. Okay, open, somewhere I should use here, open with, I want to go with the, like Google Chrome, then edge I have here. Okay, when I go with the edge, what is happening in this case? Slightly you can see difference. When you look at both of them, so it should be slightly differing. Once again, let me come to here. Why it is coming here is, I have changed it. Earlier I had here, like here I had a style, with that I was aligning in the center. When I was rendering in the, when I was rendering in the Chrome, at that time, the style was the center. When I refresh, you are going to get like that only. But between the edge and actually the Chrome, you have small differences. Okay, when you go into edge, it looks in one way, and when it comes to Chrome, it's going to be looking in the other way. Slight differences you have. Okay, but even to avoid such small differences, you need to redefine the style. Whatever existing styles are there, we can reset them. In the given document also, I was discussing about that. You need to reset document, you need to reset style. So in that case, whatever new style you are going to apply, automatically, they are going to be used for rendering the document in any browser. Whatever browser you may take, as per your page definition, it's going to be getting rendered. So you need to reset actually the styles. You have different types of elements. For all elements, you need to reset style. Then in that case, it's going to have consistent look and feel in different types of browsers. Okay, so that is called as basically browser compatibility. That's very, very important. Okay, so this is exactly what HTML5 document. We start with the doc type declaration, followed by, you have here the HTML tag or element. This is, so an element contains a starting tag as well as a closing tag. Similarly, here another tag, this is body. So this is going to contain the actual content which you are going to see in the browser. But when you go to the header part, you can have references in that, or you can have definitions for style or for JavaScript. Now I want to define some style. To define a style, this is basic idea I'm giving first. So to define a style, you can use here style tag. Okay, so inside the style tag, now I can define a style. For example, I want to define a paragraph. Okay, I want to define some paragraph. It is element based style. So first of all, I go here with the width, followed by, I want to give some 200%. Okay, not 200, it's too much actually. 20% I want to use. Of the available space, it's going to be using 20%. Suppose it's 100% screen. So in that case, when I say 20%, so it is 1/5 of the screen it has to use in that case. Then similarly, here, what I do, height also I give. Height followed by, like, it is going to be 200 pixels I use in this case. Okay, then I want to go here, like with the color. So this is going to be like color. This is called as forecolor. This is going to be here green. Like this, I am using certain colors here. Okay, and one more thing is font size. I can go here with the font size. So as soon as I type font size, how this is coming up? Because it's using some AI tools. It is nothing but AI tool. With the help of the AI tool, automatically it is going to show you options. Okay, then here you can type. Here also you get actually some hints, whether you want to go with a large font size or larger size or medium or small, or if you want to give your own size, you can give. In this case, I want to go with some 20px. Now, whenever you go with any paragraph with these styles, it's going to be getting rendered. Okay, I go here with the p tag. This is a paragraph. Okay, so it is a container element. Like this, I put some content here. I'm putting some content. Now, when I want to render this, I need to refresh just, you can see here, In the bottom, this is coming with the, like, with this color, this is coming. So text is getting wrapped in this much only. If I increase the size, width, if I increase, in that case, same text is going to be coming in the right side. Now what is happening? Automatically getting wrapped into next line. But if I change here, if I come here and change the size for this, I want to make this 30%. So in such case, what happens? It is going to be here increasing. So in the same line, it is coming. So when you have less width, in that case, automatically wraps into next line. Okay, so like this, we define the styles here. It's a paragraph element, and this is called as here element-based style. For all the paragraphs, same thing is going to be working. And this kind of style definition is called as here internal styling. Internal styling. Inside the document, you are defining style. So this is called as here internal styling. So normally styles we define, if it is internal, in the header part of the document. In the header part of document, we define this. So this is what style I defined for the paragraph, then I'm applying. So without style, what happens? It will not be looking good. Now I want to comment this. What happens in such cases? See here. Okay, I go here with this, then I want to here comment it. I want to comment the style here. So now when I render this, how it looks, let us see. So it's not changing. Therefore, I go here to this part, then I define. Okay, the comment I'm putting here. Then I should be closing in this part. These are called as HTML comments. Comments are ignored by browser. Now let me refresh. So in that case, what is happening with which is coming in this case with the default color as well as default font. Okay, so this is the default behavior. But when I override by defining a style here, in that case, that particular style is getting applied. You can put comments using this one here. So comments can be written in this manner. Okay, so this is styles definition. So this is called as here HTML comment. With the help of this, you can improve the readability of the document. Document readability you can improve. So when somebody is going through this particular HTML document, when they are reading it, they can easily understand why they are using style tag. And what is paragraph here? In the case of paragraph, it's element-based style here. For all the paragraphs, same style is getting applied in that case. Okay, here we define the style that is part of the header. Now, similarly, we can go with some scripting. Okay, I write here script. This is for the JavaScript. And I want to show some alert dialog. So what I do in that case, I can just define alert here. Welcome to JavaScript. Welcome to JavaScript. I put something like this here. Then when I render, automatically the dialog box appears on the screen. You can see here, welcome to JavaScript. So like this, I added the styles as well as the scripts. Similarly, I have the content. We have the content here in this area in the body part. So like this, we can basically create a HTML document. So this is the structure of the HTML document. Okay, this is the basic structure. You need to start with a document type declaration, followed by the container element HTML, and you're going to close with the closing tag. This is the starting tag, this is the closing tag, and this is starting tag, and this is going to be here closing tag. This is starting tag, and this is going to be closing tag. Sometimes what happens, you may not use, you may not be using container elements. Sometimes you may have to use non-container elements. I'm typing something here. This is my first page. This is my first page. Then after that, I want to draw some horizontal line. In such case, what I do, I can just go with the HR. Okay, HR is going to be horizontal ruler. Okay, it's going to draw a ruler, which is nothing but a non-container element. This is not going to contain any text, or it's not going to contain any other elements inside that. So therefore, it's called as non-container element. We need to end non-container element like this. You need to first specify the element name, followed by just slash, and you go with the greater than symbol. Now, in this case, what happens? It's going to show a ruler on the screen. You can see a white colored ruler you are getting in this case. You can see in the bottom, a white colored ruler you get. Okay, so this is my first page. After that, you have Why you have so much gap in this case? You can see there is a lot of gap because we are getting because of this property here, height 200 px we have taken. Okay, so whether you have content or not, it's going to use that much space. After that only this particular paragraph is getting printed now. If you look at this, so first it is a paragraph. So in the paragraph, you gave certain width, you gave certain height, you gave color, then font size. After rendering that particular thing, it is going to show this. But what is the height you gave here? 200 px. So it's going to be having height of 200 pixels, then it is coming here. Okay. So suppose it is you have more and more content. In that case, that's going to be getting truncated. Let me put here in the same manner. Multiple times I copy and paste. So what happens? See in that case. Okay, I pasted multiple times that. Now let me see how this looks. It is now overlapping. You gave certain height, in that height only this should come. Okay, so in such cases, you have to make it overflowing. So what I do here, I can put one more attribute. I'm going to put here another attribute. In this manner, I can go with a inline styling now. Style equal to here. This is overflow. Okay. This is here scroll. I can go here with the scroll in such cases. Now you get a scroll bar in such cases. You can see here scroll bar. So like this, you can use attributes and you can use styles. With the help of that, you can, display the content. Content you are going to display using here various attributes and various types of properties. So these are related to style. All these properties are related to style. Apart from style, you can even use the other. With the help of HR, what we do, we draw a line here. We are drawing a line and it's getting rendered. You have only horizontal rulers. You don't have any vertical rulers in the HTML. Okay. So this is what it's a HR tag. With the help of that, we are drawing a line here. And on top of that, what we have, this is my first page that's getting printed. Okay. So this is called as here non-container element. Whereas body is what here? It's a container element and this is a non-container element. Okay. And one more point I was saying yesterday, block level as well as inline. There are two different types of elements. Again, you have one is block level, other one is actually block level element, other one is inline element. Here I want to go with one more paragraph. Okay. So I just put welcome. Okay, welcome. I'm typing here. In the next one, once again, I go with the P here. In this case, how I use something like this, I keep. Now, when you render this, these two are going to be coming in different lines. They're not in the same line. In different lines, you get them. Okay, so that's why these are called as here block level elements. You have a welcome followed by how are you, we should have. So which is not coming up in this case. Okay, let me refresh. Problem is, did I save this? I have saved. Then why it is not shown? Welcome, how are you, have here? So it should be getting rendered properly. Automatically, this style is getting applied for this particular thing. And if you come down, you can find this. Welcome and how are you have both are getting rendered here. But each and everything is coming in a new line here. So this is called as a block level element. So whenever you go with a block level element, it starts at a new line. That means in the beginning of next line, always this starts. In contrast to this, suppose you have here span. Okay, you go with the span. Then here, hello, I put here, followed by what I do, I can give certain space, 1 or 2 spaces, I go with another span. So in this, okay, I again type here, how are you? So now what happens here? It is going to be shown in the same line with space. So this is called as here inline element. So these are called as here in element. In the same line, we can show them. Hello, how are you? You are having here. So the span is what? Inline element. This is also a container element, but inline element. Whereas paragraph is a contained element. This is a block level element. That means whenever you go with another paragraph here, it's going to be starting at new line, or in the next line, it starts. In the next available line, it's going to be starting. So like this, you have here block level as well as inline elements. Span is inline element, paragraph is inline element. Okay, so but span as well as paragraph, both of they are container elements. They can contain some other text or something else in that. Okay, so span as well as paragraph, they are actually here they are container elements, but span is what here inline element, paragraph is actually block level element. Similarly, H1 is block level element. Okay, so table you have, div you have, all of they are going to be inline elements. So like this, you can create here a HTML document. Very first thing, going with the doc type declaration, followed by the HTML header, and this is HTML. This is called as here beginning element of the HTML document, and you are going to end with the HTML. So rest of the things you are going to have in the HTML, in between the HTML tags. So starting HTML tag and ending HTML tags, in between them, you have the rest of the elements. You have header element, you have body element, and further header element is going to contain other elements like title element, style element, script element. Okay. Similarly, when it comes to body, this can contain other elements like H1 or paragraph or div or span. So like this, basically HTML document is composed. Okay. HTML document is composed something like this, and these pages are going to be rendered in the browser. They are rendered in the browser. Even how the browser is working, I have explained yesterday. So I was talking about the various rendering engines, Gecko rendering engine. Okay. So similarly, Trident rendering engine, what exactly Google is using. So I shared in the given document. Once again, go through the document, please. We should have solid understanding of inner working of the browser. So if you understand browser well, then in that case, you can create cross-browser compatibility HTML pages or applications. So understanding basics are always important. You need to know how exactly the browser works. I think some of you have gone through the shared document. Please, all of you go through. I recommend it. Okay, so this is the creation of basic HTML document. Okay, it's not containing any rich content or any meaningful content, but I have shown you how to create a document using particular structure here. First of all, you have a document type declaration, followed by the you are making it as HTML document with a starting tag and ending tag, followed by here you have header part as well as body part. Like this, we created here a sample HTML page. Anyone has any questions, please? You have to be interactive, you have to involve in this, please, in this discussion. Okay, so here I created a HTML document. It's a sample document I created. Just I wanted to show you the structure of HTML document I have shown here. Next topic is HTML boilerplate. Okay, I was talking about actually HTML5 template or HTML boilerplate. Okay, so what is exactly this HTML boilerplate? It is nothing but a template. Okay, that we are going to be adding whenever you are starting a new project. Okay, so the same boilerplate you can be using for creating number of HTML pages. Instead of creating all these things, doc type declaration, HTML. So instead of creating all this every time, automatically certain sections can be added to you. So that is called as HTML boilerplate. Okay, we call it as HTML boilerplate. So in that, one of the important things is what here, document type declaration. So the very first line of the HTML document, HTML page in this case is doc type declaration. Okay. So with the help of this, browser understands which version of the HTML it's going to be using. Accordingly, the browser can render. You have differences between various different versions of HTML. You may have 3.0, or you may have 4.0, or you may have 5.0. Some of the elements may be available in 5.0, but they may not be available in the 4.0. So whenever you are rendering it, as per the HTML version, it has to render. some of the properties they may change from version 4.0 to 5.0. So according to version, it's going to be rendering the content. So therefore, this doc type declaration, this is the very first line. So it is going to basically tell the browser that what version of the document it is and how exactly it has to be rendered in the browser. Okay. So if you forget this particular thing, if you forget actually this doc type declaration, in that case, what happens? Your HTML file has to use tags like article, footer, and header. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, what happens exactly? Suppose if you don't have document type declaration, if you try to go with some, you have certain semantic elements like article or footer or header, they may not be supported. When you have this one, these can be supported, but when you don't have the doc type declaration in the HTML file, that may not be in the given HTML document. Whenever you are rendering with browser, so they may not be supported. Let us put that. Let us first of all comment this here and see, or else we can create another document. In that, let us see. So this is index I want to create, index.html. Then here, same content I copy and paste. From here, I copy and paste. Okay. So here, if I put, it should not close here. Okay. So I want to go with the footer and header. Okay, I want to go here with the footer as well as header. So in this part, I go with the footer. It is supporting. Okay, I go with the footer. Sorry, not footer. First of all, I should go with the header. Okay. So this is my header. I put like this. So this head section is different from this header. Okay, this is the document heading part, whereas this is here your content header. So content header comes with the header tag. Similarly, I have here footer tag. I want to go with the footer here. Footer. So this is my footer. I want to put something like this. This is my footer. Latest browsers may follow, but old versions they may not follow. If you don't use the doc type declaration, it may not be getting rendered properly, the header and footer. So now let me here render this again. Okay. So is it shown for us? If you look at this, is it shown here? Let me change color for this. Because of this color, you have a problem. So I just don't use, here I go with the white color. Okay, if I go with the white color and when I render here, how it looks, see. Which one I'm going with the home. So I should not go with the home. I have to go with the index. Now it is looking something like this. Okay, it is shown here. This is my header and this is my footer. It is showing. You can see here, because this is the latest browser, the Chrome, it may support. If I go with the, if I go with the Edge, what happens? See. This document, I need to find. Again, I come to this index, I take, open with the, open with Edge. It is showing this is my header, this is my footer. I this time go with the open with Internet Explorer. It's no longer supporting, so no use with this. Okay. Okay, even it is getting shown in the Edge without any problem. But sometimes what happens, browsers, they don't support. Okay. So if there is, whenever you don't have any doc type declaration, it may not understand the header and footer. So in such case, if you face a problem, so it is required to have here doc type declaration always. You can go here and you can put the doc type declaration. So if you don't have this one, these tags may not be supported sometimes. Footer as well as header. Okay, because they belong to HTML5, and these are called as semantic elements. We can call them as semantic element. Instead of using here header, even you can go with the some like div. They are going to contain simply the content, but they don't have proper meaning. When you say header, it has proper meaning, but when you go with the div, even in this case, this renders. So div is what here? Non-semantic element, whereas header is going to be non-semantic element. That means they are giving you appropriate meaning. When somebody is going through your code, they can easily understand. When you go with semantic elements, understanding your code can be very easy. But when you go with this, you can use div in number of places. For what purpose you are using, you can't get that. So readability you can improve with the help of the semantic elements. Okay, header is a semantic element, footer is a semantic element. When you look at that, you understand. Meaning also you can easily understand. So these are supported in the HTML 5.0. Okay, so if you go with the doc type declaration, browser, it can read easily the document and accordingly it can render. So this is the advantage of having here doc type declaration. So you need to have always doc type declaration. Okay, and next part is what? This is only boilerplate, you think? Next part is going to be, you have a top level element in this. What is the top level element? HTML is a top level element. Okay, it is going to contain other elements inside this. It is something like a XML document. You can think it as a XML document. So in the XML document, you have a root node. All the rest of the nodes are going to be child nodes. In the same manner, here you have a HTML root node. Inside this, you have the rest of the elements. So this is called as here top level or root level element. Okay, it's a top level element or root element. So it is nothing but HTML. Okay, and here you can go with certain language attribute. For example, take this here, lang equal to, okay, so lang equal to something like en you can put. That means what? English. So this is going to be English here. Let me try to use some other attribute. Instead of en, I want to go with some Hindi. How it looks, let us see. So I can go here, then I put in this case FR. FR is nothing but here French language. How it looks, let us see. Okay, it will not automatically change. It will not going to be changing automatically, but whenever you are showing the French language, in that case, you can go in that way. Or sometimes certain sections like span, or you can say div, for that also you can go with the language. So in the same page, you can go with multiple languages. Okay, you can show in the same page multiple languages. Something you can show in English, something you can show in Hindi, or some section you can show in the French language. So like that, you can use the attribute long equal to here FR or EN or whatever other language you have, you can use them. So this is called as your language attribute. So with the help of that, you are going to say it is going to be in the English language or French language. It is called as your long attribute. LANG attribute you use here. Okay, so why this is required is sometimes what happens, you may use screen readers. Do you know what is screen reader? With the help of the screen reader, you can read this content. Okay, some people may have accessibility problems. They may be disabled people. They cannot see this. Okay, they may have some eye problem. Okay, in such case, what happens? With the help of the screen readers, you can make it getting read. That means with voice, this can be read. So in that case, how it can read then? Suppose you have some content in the French language, it has to be spoken like French. Or in some cases, what happens? It may be in English. So like English only, it has to be spoken. So using language attribute, you can make it, easy for the screen readers. They can read content from screen and they can through the computer speaker, that can be heard. So therefore, using language attribute, that you can achieve. Particular section or entire document, you can mark it as like long equal to English or long equal to France or long equal to something else. So that way what happens, they can be reading. So how actually the text to speech works, I can show you here. Okay, So sometimes what we use actually like text to speech. When you type some text, automatically it will be. I mean, it is spoken like actually English. In that also different with different voices like Anna voice or Mary voice or Ravi voice. Like that, you have different voices. So with those voices, that can be spoken. Okay, so in such case, this will be very, very useful with the help of the lang attribute. Here, lang equal to fr. Whenever it is read by screen reader, it is going to be everything will be spoken there. Like this is my header, this is welcome to my home page. So this will be read. But depending on the language attribute, it's going to be, I mean, reading in that particular language. If you keep fr, it's going to read like French language. If you keep English, it's going to be reading like English. If you keep Hindi, so it's going to be reading like Hindi language. So like this, it is going to be useful. Lang attribute is going to be useful for the screen readers. Okay. Then next thing is what here you have a head tag. Okay, you have a head tag. So this contains information which is processed by machines. That means your browser is going to be processing this particular thing. Okay, so it is going to contain some metadata. The style is nothing but metadata, script is nothing but metadata, and apart from that, like you want to make responsive web design, so that is also nothing but metadata. Like that, you can contain metadata within the header section. Similarly, sometimes what we do, we go with what kind of character set we are using. UTF-8, UTF-16. UTF is nothing but Unicode transformation format. Okay, what is basically Unicode? Whenever you work with computers, you are going to use here, basically, you are going to use different types of characters. One is what ASCII, ACII, the other one is Unicode. Okay, ASCII basically contains characters from total, you have 256 characters starting from 0 to 255. So in this, you contain various characters like space, okay, then digits, uppercase English alphabet, and lowercase. Okay, all these are part of actually ASCII as far as English is concerned. Okay, so whenever you work with ASCII, it can work with the English or English-like languages. English-like language is nothing but French, Spanish language, Russian language, German language. They are called as English-like languages. Okay, so when you look at ASCII, then in that case, it is going to be useful only for English or English-like languages. Suppose I want to show something in the like Arabic language. Okay, you have different versions again in the Arabic, like Egypt version or Kuwait version, different versions you have. So in that case, how do you render? There you have to use the Unicode concept. You have to go with the Unicode. It's called as Universal, Transformation, UTF, Universal Transformation Format or Unicode Transformation Format. With the help of that, you are going to show their characters. Okay, for example, you want to show Indian rupee in the HTML page. Okay, so here somewhere I want to show Indian rupee. So therefore, I can go with the HTML entity 73777, I think. With the help of that, I can show the Indian rupee. So Indian rupee Unicode value, with the help of that, it can be rendered. You have a Unicode value, HTML code you have, with the help of HTML code that can be shown. Okay. Suppose here I want to show, this is the index page. I want to show rupee. Here in the footer part, I just want to render in this manner. $ampersand. First I use hash 8377. Then followed by here 10,000 like this I put. Okay. I don't put any space like this. I want to show this. It is showing like question mark here. It's showing a question mark because it is not supporting the Unicode. By default, it's showing you here. It's showing by default in this case ASCII code only. Now you need to make this as character UTF-8. So therefore, I can go to this point and I can specify something like meta tag. Then here char set, character set. This is equal to here UTF hyphen 8. So in such cases, this must be getting rendered for us. So it has to render in such cases. The rupee symbol must be coming up for us when you go with refreshing this. Still, this is not shown for us. So I'm not using proper code in that case. Okay, so Unicode 8377, with the help of that must be getting rendered for us. Once again, I come to this, then here I don't use ampersand, just I try to use hash 8377. So that must be getting rendered. So still it's showing like number only. Okay, I go here this way, followed by put a semicolon, then try to see here. Now you can see here rupee symbol is coming. So since this is Unicode, you need to go with the UTF format here. On the top of this one, you need to specify like character set UTF-8. This is called as Unicode transformation format or universal transformation format 8. So with this, you can render here Unicode characters. Okay, in the bottom of the screen here, this is my footer, and here followed by ampersand hash 8377. You need to have colon semicolon. This is called as here HTML entity. Okay, it is called as here HTML entity. Like this, you can show. Suppose you want to show some copyright. Here you can do in this manner. This is at the rate ampersand followed by copy. Then put here semicolon. It is going to be showing at the rate symbol for us. This is copyright symbol. So like this, these are called as HTML entities. You can show them. So using HTML entity, you can render here the Indian rupee symbol. Okay, so here this is what exactly hexadecimal code. We call this Unicode. This is called as here Unicode. Okay, so this is now showing rupee. Similarly, if you want to show some ASCII characters, in that case, you can simply use them here. W is nothing but ASCII character. P is also nothing but ASCII character here. Simply that is shown. So all these are nothing but extended character set. If you want to show any Unicode character, you need to use here UTF-8. First thing is what here? Document type declaration. So if you don't have that, the footer, the section, the header, they cannot be rendered in some browsers. In the modern browsers, that may not be any problem. Automatically, they may think it as HTML5. But otherwise, if it's old browser, then you cannot, then they can't understand HTML5 version. The next thing is here, language attribute. With the help of this, you can make actually your page readable by screen readers. Okay, depending on the attribute, they can read it. Depending on the attribute here. Suppose if you put FR, it's going to be reading in the French language. If you put Spanish, it's going to read in the Spanish language. Okay, so similarly, here one other thing is what exactly, when you go with the UTF-8, in that case, it can render the Unicode characters. It can render Unicode characters. So like this, in the boilerplate, automatically we set these things. Okay, so similarly, viewport, one of the important things is going to be here, viewport. Okay, you have a concept called here viewport. What is the use of that? Try to see here now. I go to the header part. In the header part, what I do, I can set here a viewport. Okay, here I go to this point, then here I try to set the viewport. Meta tag, followed by here, name equal to viewport. Followed by here, this is going to make your page responsive. Then this is content. Okay, so equal to here width, followed by this is device width. Okay, width equal to what exactly? It is content equal to, sorry. So content equal to here, I put in this manner, width hyphen going to be width equal to, I put in this manner, device width. Okay, this is going to be using the width of the device, followed by initial scale. Okay, initial scale, this is going to be here 1.0. I want to put this as here initial scale 1.0. Okay, then I should not be closing initial scale equal to this is 1.0. Okay, then I close this. With the help of this, what happens? This becomes actually responsive page. What is responsive page? See here. Okay, now I try to resize this. I want to resize page. When I resize page, what is happening? The text must be getting here truncated. Text, not truncated, sorry. It should not be truncated. It should be rendering in any kind of device, depending on the device. Right now, I'm using here this browser. Okay, it is having some 1400 pixels, I think, width. In that width, it should render. Tomorrow, if you try to show this in the different device, even in the device without any hiccup, it should be getting rendered. Okay, so since it is small, it may be looking like that. I want to go with some image now. I would like to put some image here and try to see how it works. So this is my header I have, followed by, I can go here with the, like, I would like to go with the image. I want to put some image in this case. SRC equal to some image I download and keep here. Tiger image. Okay, so tiger image download. I just use this image. Okay. Save image as of this format. Tiger PNG images. Okay, JPG file. I take otherwise. Just go with this then. Tiger. I want to save this somewhere in the HTML examples. Okay. So I come to this point now. Here, img src equal to dot followed by flash tiger dot jfif. Like this, I'm using the tiger. Okay. So this is again a, like, it's not a container element, it is non-container element. I render this now. You have tiger somewhere on the top. Okay. Now I want to go with the width here. So I give width equal to like 500 or some 800 px I take. 800 px. Now I render this here. It is looking like this. When I resize page, what happens? See here in this. It's getting truncated. This should not be getting truncated like this. Okay. It should not be getting truncated. So if it's getting truncated, this is not responsive. It's not responsive. So what I do in such cases, I can come here and width equal to, okay, width equal to, I put something like here, say 50% of the screen it has to take. 50%, I say, then followed by try to render. Okay, now here again, I try to resize it. So when I resize, what is happening? The tiger is also getting resized without getting truncated. So this kind of thing is called as here responsive web page. This is called as here responsive web page. In the responsive manner, this is getting here rendered. Okay, so like this, you can create responsive web pages using this particular viewport. Okay, so this tag is going to be rendering the width of the page to the width of the device screen. Suppose your device is having 600 pixels, it's going to use entire 600 pixels. If it is some 400 pixels, it's going to be using 400 pixels. So like this, you have initial scale, we are taking it as 1.0. That means what 100% zoom it is. Okay, zoom level is going to be 100% whenever you go with the initial screen, and content width equal to device width. Depending on the device, automatically it's going to adjust. So like this, you can make actually your pages responsive pages. That means it is going to be getting rendered any kind of device. Okay, so these are going to be few things we discussed today. From Monday, we try to spend complete 2 hours, then slowly we progress. Okay, so initially it may be looking little confusing, but as you practice more and more, as you read more and more, then definitely everything will be clear and you start enjoying even coding. So just have shown you few pages today. Okay, once again, I can revive all these things Monday. From Monday onwards, we are going to do that. Okay, any questions, please?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
You have did all this in the G drive now. In our laptops, in which drive we have to do for?
Wherever you want to use, you can use it. Okay, if you have D drive in the D drive, you can create. If you have C drive in the C drive, you can create. Depending on your choice. Because in my G drive, a lot of space I have, so I'm keeping in the G drive.
Okay. Okay.
Any questions related to this this HTML part? Have you understood?
This I did not answer about the language audio who are like disabled.
Okay.
That we get in this example.
You understood this language?
Yes, sir. But you said some audio.
Yes, audio also. Audio video we discuss in the next session. You can embed audio and video in the same page.
No, like you said in French, Hindi, Telugu.
Yes. Suppose you kept here French. Okay. Somebody cannot see. Okay, even if they can see the screen, in that case, the vision is blurred. So what they do in such case, they can hear it by playing some kind of by using some speaker, they can hear. So in that case, they are called as screen readers. They read line by line, and that is converted to audio. And the person who is trying to get content from web page, they can understand from the speech. So in such case, this is going to be useful very much. So it is screen reading, line by line. It can read, and that can be converted to speech, and the speech can be heard by the person who is going through the website. Got this point?
Okay. But here the language didn't change into FR French.
Correct. See, here we need to type in the French language. Automatic language, it is not language translation. Okay. So if it is in the French, in that case, you need to put French content. Using this, it is going to convert, it is going to speak in the French language. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
Language readers, they can, because if you don't have any language attribute, whether it is French or English or Hindi, how it knows, it does not know. Correct?
Yes.
So to make it reading it in the French language, we require this language attribute.
Okay.
Any other question?
Yeah, yesterday I missed the demo class, sir. So from today I joined actually. This is Pragati.
Yes.
So, sir, what is the home.html and index.html? What is the difference, sir, for both? So we can what we can implement in home and what we can do in index.
They're just names only. They are simply file names. Okay. These are simple file names. And when you look at any website, what happens? You have number of web pages. So using links, what you do, from one page to another page, you move, you navigate. Initially, you have a home page. It's nothing but landing page. As soon as you open web page, what happens? You go to some landing page. Normally, landing pages are called as home page or index page or default page or dashboard. Okay, so these names we use, either it can be home or it can be dashboard or it can be index or it can be default. Some name you can choose. There they can be landing pages basically. Okay, from landing page, what happens? You can navigate within the website. Websites may contain different types of information. To go from one page to another page, you use actually navigation mechanism or anchor tags. With the help of that, you can jump from one page to another page. But one of the pages must be default page when you open site, correct? Somewhere you need to land. Okay, so the landing page can be home or index or default, or it can be dashboard. It is up to you. Whatever page you want to make landing page, so automatically site is going to be opening that as the very first page. So from there, you can be navigating to different pages. Pragati, understood this?
Yes, sir. Yes, got it, sir.
So anyone has any other question?
Sir, how you directly used JFIF for tiger image? Tiger.jfif.
Yes. So this is what exactly image tag. To render images, we use this. This is what exactly image element. And what kind of element this is? It is actually a container, non-container element. When you look at paragraph, this is called as here what exactly? It's a container element because it is having a starting tag up to this, and you have somewhere here the closing tag. If you come to the end, or else I just span into next line. Okay.
రాకాడు లేడు ఎందుకు వర్షానికి ఎవరు ఆర్డర్లు పెట్టింది
Actually, we will be using JPG.
Correct. You have different JPEG formats. You have MPEG, you have JPEG, then you have JFIF. So these are different formats, but all of them are JPEG files only. The Joint Photographic Experts Group, all of them are actually JPEG files only.
అరే ఇదేంటిరా
And apart from that, you can even
Fontantica,
use
Nera.
the PNG file. Okay, portable network graphics you can use, PNG file you can use. There are different
Oh.
formats as far as images are concerned. Even TIFF files you can use. So this is one of the variants in the JPG.
గుట్టులో మంచిగా ఉంది కదా బిర్యానీ కన్నా
How you know, sir, that is JFIF or JPG or
అది
PNG?
గోట్
Yes.
బిర్యానీ కన్నా
If
పులావ్
you come to the tiger here, I
Okay.
come to this. When you click on this, you can find. If you see properties, you have the extension JFIF.
Okay.
So with that,
Based-
you can go.
Understood, sir.
ఓకే
Okay. So any other questions, please?
Sir, usually I practice in like Visual Studio, then I need to download this code and do it.
Yes,
Sir,
yes. Visual Studio is very heavy.
okay,
You need to have around 6 GB space to install the Visual Studio.
okay,
And latest version is 2022, and straight away you cannot do. You need to launch some. You need to first of all create some web application. So are you using latest version 2022?
yes, sir. I'm
Okay.
using that.
Yeah, then in that case, you
Manchu
need to
undra
go
idi.
with some Razor pages, or you need to start with MVC, or you need to start API. It's going to
Yes.
be
అది ఎక్కువ
huge,
బిర్యానీ
very
అయితే
very
కానీ
big
ఇది
that is.
మస్తు పెట్టు
Correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
To avoid that one, you can go with simple like editors. This is very light. This is lightweight editor. Visual Studio Code is lightweight editor, which is about 200 MB. Whereas Visual Studio is going to be like around 6 GB, and even to load that takes time, and it requires actually more and more resources. Okay, this is going to use less resources, and with the help of this editor, you can do many things. Need not be just one. You can do many things. Like you can create JavaScript files. You can create actually here CSS files. You can create HTML documents. You can, if you want to create some Python code, you can create here. If you want to write some Go language code, you can write here. So for many things, you can use the Visual Studio Code. It's a very good editor, which is very, very lightweight when compared with the like Eclipse. In the case of Java, we use. In the case of Python, we use PyCharm. Okay. So similarly, JetBrains we use, or else if you want to work with the .NET, you have to use Visual Studio. They are going to be very heavyweight. Okay. So when compared with this, is very lightweight, and whatever type of file you want to create, easily you can create in this case. So that's the reason we have to use the Visual Studio Code.
Is there any like Visual Studio 2022 like that is for code? Is there any versions we need
Latest
to?
version you can download. Let us see the version. What version this is? Here we can
Okay.
find the version in this case. Okay, help if you go, then in this case, you can find the version information somewhere. So somewhere you should have it. Okay, let me once again see here. This terminal you have help. Somewhere privacy statement you have. Okay, somewhere release notes. See, this is version 1.93, August 2024. At the time I downloaded it.
Okay, sir. Maybe the latest one. I will go with the latest one.
Yeah,
This is
the
one.
latest version. August 2024 is the latest one.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I will go with.
Yes.
Yeah, I will.
And you don't really find much difference between the latest and the earlier versions. We use bare minimum features. You may have too many features, but they may not be required. All the features may not be required for us. Okay, only we may explore only few features. We just write code, then after that we may compile, we render. We may not be using all the features. They may not be required always.
Okay.
So bare minimum normally we use. Even if you use Visual Studio, what do you use code editor, You debug it, you set project properties, you go to Solution Explorer, there you may add a new resource. Okay, like the tool we use, we are not going to use features or 100% features all the time. Seldom we use those features. So there will not be much difference between the earlier version and current version, in my opinion.
Okay, sir.
IntelliSense is all available in all the things. So as I was saying, what is IntelliSense? As you type, automatically it's going to suggest what you have to do. Okay,
Yeah.
for example, you use here some paragraph. You go with a P, followed by here you write style. As soon as you type style here, okay, here in this case, I want to go with some width, or I want to go here, text, like alignment. It's going to suggest you, like in this case, center or left or right, like that, it's going to be helping you.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not coming up. Okay, so spelling anywhere mistake. Once again, let me type here. Automatically should come up. Okay. Text align only, not alignment. It can show you now. Okay.
Yeah.
Center and justify. These are nothing but hints you get. With the help of this hints, easily you can complete your code. So for that purpose we use. I can go with the left or I can go with the right. It's going to be getting justified in the right side. So these are automatically available to you. So this is available with the help of AI assistants.
మీరు ఎవరు
It's called
తీసుకోపోరా
an AI
పులావులు
assistant. Okay.
పులావులు ఎప్పుడు
Please
తీసుకోపోరా
mute
అందరు
your speakers. Can you mute your speakers, please?
ఎందుకు
Yeah, can you mute your microphone, please? Or else you turn off your speakers. In that case, we cannot hear. Otherwise, we are getting some noise. Okay, so this is what exactly IntelliSense or code completion automatically is available. You have to be aware of these assistants actually. These are called as coding assistants, AI coding assistants. So you have to know what AI we are using with the editors. They are going to be very, very helpful to you. Okay, in the future, more and more AI tools we are going to use. So we should start using them, but automatically they are available here in this case. Okay, so this is basically HTML5, few features we have seen today. I thought I can complete today all, but in the next session, once again, we revive all these things and we can go ahead in that way. I give everyday assignment, try to do it, please. I haven't got any response regarding yesterday's assignment from anyone. If you complete, that would be really good.
Sir, I have sent mail, sir, to
Okay.
you.
Check
Yesterday's
actually then. Morning I saw, but when did you send the email?
As far as morning, maybe nights are for you, midnight maybe.
I haven't received. So once again, I'm giving here my email ID. It is contact at
To that email only I have sent.
angelis.in.
What we need to send it to your email, sir? So
No, I
email.
mean, yeah.
Okay.
So whatever assignment I give, you need to complete and you need to share that with me.
Okay. Okay.
So every day. But once again, I share yesterday's assignment only today. Try to do that, please.
Okay.
While doing, you understand so many things. Even some of the points we discussed today, like cross-browser compatibility, what it is exactly, what is exactly semantic elements, what are non-semantic elements. Okay, and a few other things also I was saying yesterday, you to do. So few things we discussed today, but anyhow, you just go through once again, you try to complete the assignment and try to share with me those. Okay, so
Okay,
this is the email ID, contact@angelis.in. So soon, within some couple of days, the site will be available. We can directly post it to site in that case.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. So anyone has any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.